Hello and welcome to EPG Pathshala program in botany. I am Dr. Hemlata Kotkar. I will continue my topic on plant mineral nutrition. Elements that stimulate plant growth but are not essential are termed as beneficial elements. This definition is true for sodium, silicon, which has been dealt with in the earlier lecture, and also cobalt. In this module, I will discuss cobalt and copper. Cobalt promotes growth of plants that harbor root symbionts, while copper transporters have primary importance in maintenance of physiological limits of copper homeostasis in plants. So, let us focus on soil availability, uptake and transport, functions and efficiency symptoms of both these elements. Let us begin with the soil availability of cobalt. Cobalt is a natural earth element occurring in different chemical forms in the environment but present in trace amounts in the soil. Most rocks, soil, surface and underground water, plants and animals possess small amounts of cobalt. It exists as cobalt 2 and cobalt 3, which form a number of organic and inorganic salts. Cobalt usually occurs in association with metals like copper, nickel, manganese and arsenic. Cobalt concentration ranges between 15 and 25 ppm in soils. However, more acidic the soil, greater is the potential for cobalt toxicity at any concentration. The distribution of cobalt in plants is entirely species dependent. Physical conditions like salinity, temperature, pH of the medium and presence of other metals influence the process of uptake and accumulation in algae, fungi and mosses. In higher plants, absorption of cobalt by roots involves active transport. However, high manganese levels in soil inhibit uptake of cobalt by plants. Transport through the cortical cells is operated by both passive diffusion and active process. In the xylem, the metal is mainly transported by the transpirational flow. Distribution through the sieve tubes is acropetal by complexing with organic compounds. The lower mobility of cobalt in plants restricts its transport to leaves from the stems. Iron regulated transporter 1 or IRT1 is the main root transporter taking up iron from the soil and is also the main entry route in plants for potentially toxic metals such as manganese, zinc, cobalt and cadmium. Once inside cells, ferropotens or the iron regulated 1 FPN1 and iron regulated 2 FPN2 play a role in cobalt detoxification. Iron regulated 2 FPN2 can transport cobalt inside vacuoles of root epidermal and cortical cells, thereby sequestrating it in the outermost layer of roots. Mobile cobalt can be loaded into the xylem by FPN1 and translocated to the shoot. It is also believed that heavy metal ATPase 3, abbreviated as HMA3, which is expressed mainly in the roots, also transports cobalt inside vacuoles in addition to other metallic ions. In many organisms, including plants, cobalt is known to disrupt iron homeostasis to compete for access to transporters. The major function of cobalt is in the coenzyme cobalamin that includes vitamin B12 and its derivatives. In cobalamin, cobalt is chelated to 4 nitrogen atoms at the center of a porphyrin-like structure which is called as corin and has a similar role to that of iron in hemoglobin. High concentrations of cobalt are toxic to the plant. However, low concentrations can be beneficial, usually for leguminous plants. In Pisum sativum, application of 8 ppm cobalt to the soil increased growth, nodule number and weight, plant nutrient levels as well as seed pod yield and seed quality. Cobalt is essential for symbiotic rhizobia that live in the roots of leguminous plants. It is a component of cobalamin required for activity of enzymes in nitrogen fixing microorganisms. Cobalt retards leaf senescence via inhibition of ethylene biosynthesis and increases drought resistance in seeds. High tissue concentrations of cobalt offer protection against pathogens and pests. Cobalt deficiency is not reported in plants. However, it can be related to animals that feed on plants that might be deficient in cobalt. In case of deficiency, symptoms may result in reduced seed germination and reduced plant growth. Legumes in case of cobalt deficiency can show symptoms of nitrogen deficiency such as small root nodules. Some crops may develop pale green, yellow or red leaves, stems or petioles. Growth may stunt at the apex and seed production might get retarded. Grain or seed production may also be retarded. With this, we conclude with cobalt. Let us now discuss the next element, that is copper. Copper is a naturally occurring element in the soil and it can be found as a metal or in a variety of ores. It is generally available to the plant as a divalent cupric ion denoted as Cu2+. Copper deficiency is one of the most commonest among other micronutrients in agriculture as it is found in low amounts in the soil. As copper does not move easily through the soil, factors that reduce growth also prevent uptake of copper. Copper availability is higher in acidic and lower in alkaline soils. Interestingly, organic matter present in the soil reduces availability of copper. It readily forms a chelate with humic acids in the organic fraction of the soil. Copper is less available in waterlogged soil. Excess zinc reduces copper availability while excess nitrogen can prevent transport of copper. For healthy and productive soil, the concentration of copper should be 2 to 50 mg per kg. Let us see how copper is taken up by plants and transported throughout the plant. Copper 2 is reduced to copper 1 with the help of reductases and then taken up by the roots. Ferric reductase activity is induced in response to Fe or Cu deficiency. Copper transporter family of membrane proteins transport copper from the external solution to the cytoplasm. These proteins are the COPT or the copper transporter protein belonging to the CTR or the copper transporter family reported in Arabidopsis, sharing considerable sequence and functional similarity to other eukaryotic copper transporters. COPT1 is mostly expressed in the root apex, pollen grains, trichomes and stomata. COPT1 is a plasma membrane protein that functions in root copper acquisition and pollen development. COPT2 is a cell surface copper transporter expressed in the roots, young leaves, cotyledons, apical meristem, trichomes and anthers that function in copper acquisition. COPT5 transcript levels are not altered by copper availability, but when copper is severely limited, COPT5 knockout plants exhibit chlorosis, impairment in photosynthetic electron transfer, root elongation defects and compromised vegetative growth. COPT6 functions as a high affinity copper transport protein at the cell surface of aerial vascular tissues and reproductive organs. Further, COPT proteins are predicted to possess 3 transmembrane domains. Most possess methionine rich domains at their amino terminus. These domains sequester copper from an oxidizing environment to allow it to be stabilized by the thioester residues prior to transport. Copper exchange reactions with binding sites in the pore or the transporter allow copper ion to be transferred. Chaperones, which are small water soluble proteins, bind and sequester copper ions in the cytosol. P-type ATPases are involved in the transport of heavy metals or the HMA transporters. These transporters utilize ATP as an energy source. Members of the HMA family transport copper into chloroplast, where it is incorporated as a metal cofactor into copper or zinc superoxide dismutase or SOD and plastocyanin. In case of excessive copper concentrations, other members of the HMA family transport copper out of the cell. In the figure, cellular processes depicting uptake and transport of copper can be seen. Reduction of cupric ion to cuprous form at the plasma membrane by reductase activity is shown in yellow. The role of COP-T1 proteins in copper uptake chaperones in binding reactive cuprous ions in the cytosol, HMA p-type ATPases that transport copper into organelles or out of the cell are seen. Thus, copper has important roles within the plant. The major function of copper is as a cofactor for a variety of oxidative enzymes. These include plastocyanin that is involved in the electron transfer during light reactions of photosynthesis, cytochrome oxidase which is a final oxidase enzyme in mitochondrial respiration, and ascorbic acid oxidase. The browning of freshly cut apple and potato surfaces is due to the activity of copper containing polyphenol oxidases or phenolases. Superoxide dismutase, which detoxifies superoxide radicals, is also one of the most important copper containing enzyme. So, let us see what happens when there is a deficiency of copper in plants. Copper is immobile, meaning its deficiency symptoms occur in newer leaves. These symptoms start as what is called as cupping as shown in the figure. A slight chlorosis of either whole leaf or between the veins of new leaves can be seen. Small necrotic spots can be observed within the chlorotic areas of the leaf, especially on the leaf margins. As the symptoms progress, new leaves lose their sheen and in some cases leaves may wilt. The apical meristems may become necrotic and die, inhibiting the growth of lateral branches. Plants typically have a compact appearance as the stem length between the leaves shorten. Flower color is often lighter than normal. Common disorders due to copper deficiency are generally stunted growth and distortion of young leaves. This module helps us understand the various chemical forms available of both the elements copper and cobalt for plants. Uptake and transport in the plant involves specific transporters that have been studied in details and reported in the literature. Both cobalt and copper have important functions in the plant. Whereas cobalt deficiency is usually not reported, copper, which is immobile, can show symptoms in young leaves. Deficiencies can be corrected in agriculture system by administration of proper doses of nutrient combinations. With this, we conclude discussions on copper and cobalt. Thank you for your patient hearing.